Obviously, it's a big win for the Buckeyes. What'd you like about this performance?
I like the fact that we put up 23 points in the first quarter. It was nice to see us, actually throw the ball. I feel like a lot of times we have short passes open and we never utilize them. So it was good to see JT hitting those today.
Yeah, it was pretty accurate. I think 8 touchdown passes. Obviously that's a lot better than 2 weeks ago. You like what you've seen in the improvement in the passing game?
Yeah, I do. I like what I've seen from JT specifically. And I also think that Kevin Wilson's been calling a little bit better play calls. So I think it's we're trending in the right direction.
So you think these past 2 games where they've been able to kind of open it up offensively, you think that's what they've needed to just kind of get that confidence back?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's against 2 lesser opponents, so you have to take it with a grain of salt. But anything, positive offensively after the Oklahoma game is nice to see.
Yeah. A lot of fans were calling for Dwayne Haskins after Oklahoma. And we got to see him a little bit more today. What do you think about that, valuing JT against Dwayne?
Yeah, actually, I was one of the ones calling for Dwayne Haskins. But I mean, after seeing him today, he's obviously inexperienced. Him getting the game time that he's getting now is good for him. But at this point, JT, with his experience and how he's improving the last 2 weeks, I think you obviously got to stick with him.
So you think the past 2 games, coupled with Haskins' performance today, you think that kind of solidifies it's JT's job?
Yeah, definitely. You can just tell that Dwayne Haskins is inexperienced, which it'll come with time. He'll have his opportunity next year. Him. Yeah. No, but him, Tate Martell, Joe Burrows, they'll all have their chance next year when JT's gone. But I mean, you got to stick with JT. His hand's hot right now. So. And
defensively, what do you think? Guess there are a few penalties, more points than you'd expect. What do you like about that?
Defensively, you can tell that our cornerbacks, they're not getting their heads around to the ball at all, which is causing a lot of pass interference. And actually, the two times they scored offensively were both the drives were advanced because of penalties and pass interference. So you don't like that, but with same with Dwayne Haskins and Joe Burrows, and those guys are just inexperienced. It'll come with play time, but you'd like to see a little more improvement than you saw.
So what do you think about the game? Obviously, it was a big win. You guys like what you saw?
Absolutely. And this is her birthday present from me to her. It's her first game.
Okay. I'm going to disagree with her a little bit. I mean, UNLV, a not even ranked team, there was a lot to be improved on the way that the gameplay went, and they didn't do it.
What specifically do you think they didn't do?
They're not getting open their wide receivers. Their offensive line is not making holes for anything or any of their running backs to even make any kind of plays. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, that's the backbone of Ohio State, is making running plays, and they're not doing it.
They set a school record for touchdown passes. You weren't happy with that?
Absolutely. Yes,
no,
absolutely.
That's
yes.
Good. That's good. That's
okay,
good.
You have to realize that she has.
But Ohio State, yes, but Ohio State has always been a running game for them, and they're not even coming close to accomplishing what they have been in the past.
So you,
gonna put us out there.
Am I right?
Yeah. Do you think the running back needs more carries?
No, I think their offensive line needs to create more holes to give them the carries that they need.
Okay. So what do you think? Do you like their chances going forward? Do you think they're going to improve that?
Yes.
I certainly hope so.
You think so?
I mean, yeah. I'm Ohio State born and bred. Mm-hmm. That's the only thing that I can do is hope for the best.
Cool. Well, we'll hope for the best.
Lance Price from Toledo, Ohio, UT.
Okay. So what do you think about the game? Just first takeaway.
I think it was a game good enough to beat UNLV, but is it good enough to beat these teams as we get in the Big Ten play? I really don't know. We left a lot of points on the field. Penalties really came back to hurt us. We got to step it up.
Do you like what you saw offensively? I mean, obviously that wasn't really where it needed to be against Oklahoma, and we've seen kind of 2 back-to-back games where they've kind of tried to figure out what they wanted to do offensively. Do you like what you're seeing?
I do. I see an improvement. It's a lot of, we going side to side to get the receivers the ball in space, which I think is big because we haven't been doing that. But what I want to see is the ball getting driven more down the field. I saw JT took some shots and he missed them, but I saw actually Dwayne hit a couple of those shots. And I think we just need to do more of that, switching it up and feed Dobbins. And I want to see Weber. I know he's kind of hurt, but we need to feed it. We got to go north to south. We got to go straight up the field.
You mentioned Haskins hitting the shots and Barrett didn't. A lot of people were calling for JT Barrett's head. Where do you think that stands after seeing Haskins today?
I'm still not sold, to be honest. Haskins, he has the arm, he has the talent, but at the same time, I'm more high up on Burrow, to be honest with you. I love Joey Burrow's game. I know he didn't get to play too much today, but I really want to see what he can do with the reins on the offense because I'm a fan of Barrett, but I'm not seeing it. It's not moving the needle for me, honestly, at the moment. So
yeah, and then defensively, they shut him down a good bit. The defensive line was getting their push, but the secondary kind of had their struggles, especially with interference. What do you think about that?
I saw Sheffield. He had a rough day today with the calls, and what really kind of hurt me today was watching Eric Smith and the bad angles and missing the runs. Those long runs really did hurt us. And you have some good and you have some bad, but we got to shore it up.
Yeah. So. Do you like the improvement that you've seen the past 2 weeks? Do you think there is improvement, or you think they're kind of coming to a rude awakening when Penn State comes to town?
To be honest, I definitely seen improvement. I think the biggest thing is we have the best athletes in the Big Ten, period. You just got to give them the ball. And I know, coming from Oklahoma and Indiana, we're actually getting our playmakers the ball with space and letting them make moves, letting them run with it. And I think that's the biggest thing, and that's where you start off. And once we get the playmakers with the ball in space, let's take those shots downfield and then mix in the run game. We got to have a diverse play calling scheme if you really want to not be predictable like we've been known to do.
So you like their chances going forward with what they're doing right now?
Yeah, every week we just got to keep getting better. Like I said, pretty much anybody we play, we have a talent, advantage. But as we've learned, you can't just have a talent advantage and run mediocre play calls and think you're going to beat everybody you play. Maybe UNLV, but we saw even against Indiana, it can definitely even out. So
cool. Well, thank you so much.
Well, thank you. I love you guys.
Thank you. All right, so we're back here with my man Travis. What's your initial takeaway?
That's what it's supposed to look like. Playing UNLV, you're playing a team that gives up a lot of yards, a lot of points. It's a tune-up game. That's what you're supposed to do right there.
Obviously, came out, passing attack looked a lot better. You think JT Barrett's kind of silencing his haters a little bit?
A little bit. Haters are always strong here. It's until he does it in the Penn State game or the Michigan game or Michigan State somewhere down the line, there's always going to be people who are like, he doesn't do this, and plus you're a quarterback at a major university, so you're just going to have haters. He looked cleaner today, sharper. Receivers ran better routes. They were helping him out. Just overall, that passing game was more in sync. And as much as I hate the bubble screen and I hate that call, it looked good. It was out on time. Receivers blocked downfield. And that's why Paris Campbell scored and was so beautiful.
And defensively, kind of, well, it wasn't the best performance, but it's hard when there's that many possessions, and it's the second string too. What did you see defensively?
First string guys go to them. They played a lot better. 4 sacks, causing pressure. The DBs, I know, were struggling. You got to get their head around. I mean, some of those pass interference are calling because their head's not around. The ball's not catchable, but you can't face guard. It's not a good strategy. Second, third string guys, there were some running plays later. They were just making the wrong read. They weren't playing the zone read game correctly. But other than that, I mean, they're second and third string guys. They got to grow and they got to learn, and this is probably their only really game time experience they're going to get until we get to conference play or maybe next season.
Yeah. And we got to see a little bit of Dwayne Haskins. There are people calling for JT Barrett's head, and we saw a little bit of Dwayne Haskins today. What do you think about Haskins? Do you think he's ready, or a little bit of inexperience?
A little bit inexperienced still. He's got talent. Like, he's going to be the future here. But, you throw a pick six, and it's late, and it's across your body. That's asking for a pick six every time. So he's still got some growing pains of himself to go through. Just not enough game experience. Like, I like what I see from him so far, but he's not the starter yet.
Yeah. He's got a ton of confidence, though.
Absolutely.
Even the late throw, you got to have confidence to even try that throw. And there's another ball on the sideline that he just kind of zipped it over somebody's head when it probably could have been another pick six. It's just completely different play style. Do you kind of agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, every quarterback's different. Some people are in the bullet passers, and JT's more of a precision guy. I mean, you got to kind of adapt your style to your quarterback.
Mm-hmm. And they spread the ball around a lot. I think 7 different receivers caught a touchdown pass today. That's kind of a little different from previous years when the passing offense has been based on like one guy, like Michael Thomas. You think that's a good or bad thing?
That's a great thing, and that's when an offense gets inside running game, an outside running game going, then you're distributing. Like, we were throwing a lot of short passes, getting yards after catch, guys getting open on corner routes. Like, that's what you want. You want to make the defense be spread thin and go, oh my God, where's it going next? Like, you want that mindset.
I'm Colton.
Christian.
Okay.
There's Logan and Julian.
All right. So what do you think? Just give me your first take.
UNLV did not come prepared to play football.
You don't think so?
No, sir.
They didn't show up to Ohio State standards.
No, sir. Not at all.
The game was over by halftime, pretty much.
Yeah.
You like what you saw from Ohio State, though?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Hopefully we
yes,
can keep it up next week.
And specifically the passing attack. They couldn't really get it going against Oklahoma. What'd you like today?
Passing attack was definitely different then, but they did do better today.
I
So
like that our second team actually showed up to play as well. I mean, that meant a lot too. I'm sure Meyer got up in them and everything else and showed them what he expected. So.
Yeah, you mentioned the second team. We got to see backup quarterback Dwayne Haskins. What'd you like about Haskins?
I liked the way he played. I would have liked to seen Tate a little bit, but it happens though.
Yeah. Pass, runs, everything else. I mean, I feel like he was all around pretty good for not really getting to show himself much more than tonight. So.
A lot of people were calling for him to start over JT Barrett the past couple games. You think that should happen?
Yeah. Yeah.
You think you'd start Haskins over Barrett?
Reads the field a lot better, plays the slot, everything else. I mean, Barrett's just falling apart, I feel like, and he's had his time.
What do you think?
They need to have a position battle, and whoever comes out on top, I guess, takes it home. But he's definitely going to be better in the next couple of years.
He had that pick six though. You kind of get the risk reward with him.
You got to risk it to get the biscuit. I mean, you got to do what you don't want to sometimes.
Cool. Well, what do you guys think about going forward? Do you like their chances against teams like Penn State or Michigan?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, we always try our hardest against Penn State. Penn State's always been a tough team for us, but I think if we keep going in the direction that we played tonight or today, we'll be doing all right.
What about you?
They definitely better stay focused and probably pack a lunch because it's gonna be a bloodbath. It's gonna be bad.
What's your first takeaway from the game? Obviously it's a big win, second big win after they kind of dismantled Army a little bit.
Yeah. I think we had our chances. We obviously dominated, but I think it was a little suspect. The offensive line needs help. I don't know if the second or third string defense was in at the end, but we need to be a little stronger.
Yeah, I mean, we opened up the passing attack a little bit. We've seen the past two games. Do you like what you're seeing distributing the ball to the receivers in space?
No, I don't. I think that they need to do something with the ball. So when they get it, they need to have space to run. Too many times they caught the ball and that's all they did with it. They had to go down or get tackled. I don't know why they had, we tried out all three quarterbacks, it seems like, today. Instead of trying more running backs, I think Weber could have gotten the ball. Did he even play?
He's still hurt. He's nursing a hamstring injury, so that's why you saw Williams and Dobbins.
Yeah. It was great. I mean, go Bucks.
Yeah.
We'll keep working at it, but I think it was not as great as it could have been.
And defensively, they gave up a ton of points, and the defensive line played as well as you'd expect, but the secondary, there were a lot of penalties. What is that kind of your assessment of the secondary? It's young and inexperienced.
Yeah, I don't understand why they don't turn around and look for the ball. There's no way that they're going to catch it if they don't look for it, and they always get called, it seems like, on pass interference stuff. So that was pretty frustrating.
So all in all, you like the improvement that you've seen the past couple weeks?
Yeah, the improvement's been good. We've got to play some challenging teams. I think this team gave us everything we could handle. All things considered, we still, outscored them by 30 points, but we'll see once the Big Ten season starts in earnest.
And last question, you mentioned saw all three quarterbacks today. Which one do you think? There's obviously some turmoil after the Oklahoma loss. People were calling for Barrett's head. Which one do you think gives the team the best chance to win?
I wouldn't call for Barrett's head, but I think that Haskins is clearly the next in line. I think, to answer your question, Barrett gives us the best chance to win. He needs to manage the game a little bit better. I don't know why we rush to the we play a hurry up all the time instead of doing a little bit better game management and just running the clock out. I think we have a better chance of doing that with Barrett.